Hello, all my aliens, and welcome to the call center at the end of the universe. I am your host, the CS Guy, and this is the Water Cooler Review, Season 1, Episode number 5, Batman Forever from 1995. So, which side of the coin will we land on? So, we just got done watching Batman Forever. You had Jim Carrey as Riddler, Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, Nicole Kidman as Dr. Meridian Chase, Chris O'Donnell as Robin, and introducing our new Batman, Val Kilmer. So, as with the previous two Batman movies, I had seen this as a teen when this came out and watched it a lot of times afterwards. I really enjoyed it then. I still enjoy it to this day. So let's start with a couple of things. So let's start with the first thing. So we get a new Batman. Because Mr. Keaton, he didn't want to play. He didn't play well with others. He didn't want to share with Robin. They wanted to get Robin into the second Batman, and they kind of gave in to Michael Keaton, kept him out, and they're like, "Listen, we're doing Robin. You're either doing this or you're not." So we get Val Kilmer, and this is kind of where the people who play Batman will go downhill for a series of wills. We really did miss Michael Keaton. Val was not a good Batman, and newsflash, we're in a store for a series of Batmans. It's just they think anybody can play this role. That's not the case. Not many people can play this role and play this role well. Jim Carrey was the Riddler. Now, I've always been a big fan of him, and I really enjoyed him in this role as a Riddler. Classic Jim Carrey, he didn't go too far out of the way to bring it over the top. And they gave him so many great lines, if knowledge is power, then a god am I. Was that over the top? I never really could tell. I'm a winner and caffeine will kill you. He has his mind control device, and we're going to talk about that for a few moments. So, it's a blender with wings. Yeah, it was a blender that you pick up like at a local store, glued two little sides to it, and you have this mind control device. Really early or mid 1990, guys. Um, we thought it was great back then. Looking back on it now, though, it was kind of a little thought of virtual reality, how you could see things and touch stuff while you're watching stuff. I mean, without the whole mind control, but you never know what they're doing in virtual reality, guys. But it was kind of that, looking back on it, like, oh, okay. One of my favorite lines was like a one part during a fight scene. He's like, ooh, nice form, but a little rough on the landing. He may have to settle for the bronze. Jim Carrey was just at his finest during this whole role. He did a nice job on. They did a really nice job when he transitioned from Edward Enigma to the Riddler. And one of my favorite songs played during it, it's like, if you hate your boss at your job, but in your dreams you can blow his head off. Show no mercy. I play the song way too much during this period. I actually hadn't heard the song in like 20 years, and it was a blast for the past. I did enjoy it. We get our first real introduction to Commissioner Gordon in this Batman. There was a nice little scene between Edward and him, talking about Edward's boss who had committed suicide. And, during his moment of grief, he's like, oh, you find the suicide note in his writing in his sentence struggle. And the note's like, to whom it may concern, goodbye. So that was a little funny. So, we kind of start focusing a little bit more on the bat signal than we did in the other two. Dr. Meridian Chase at one point uses it to call Batman, and Batman's like, "That's not the bat signal's not a beeper. Beepers were big back then, guys. So that was kind of a big thing. So um, and hey, new girl, another girl to tell a secret to. But this time, secrets will come to bite him. Riddler has a great line referring them, giving us a little nod to the Catwoman. It's like, oh, do I need skin tight vinyl and a whip? So nice little nod to Catwoman and the vinyl. Let's remember that for a moment. Okay. Um, so we meet the reason we didn't have Mr. Keaton with Robin. I thought they did a really great job with how they introduced him. They gave him the Grayson family of the trapeze, which was really similar to comics. They gave with his trapeze uniform the classic red and green, the nod to the comics back in the 60s and everything else with the Robin. Even when Alfred makes his suit, they give that classic red green in that suit, which looked really good. This was the Batman buttocks suits, if you had not forgotten. And we get the little nod to the Nighthawk when Alfred's like, "What do we call him?" And he's like, or maybe Robin, because I fly through the air. So they settled Robin. I think Tommy Lee Jones actually did a nice job playing Two-Face. They did a really great job at telling his story and how we struggle with both sides, your good and evil side. And this is a running point through the movie. Even Batman struggling with those two sides, Bruce or the Bat. The message I feel of this movie is we all have those two sides, but it's up to us how we battle, how we let them battle with each other. And we're not going to really truly be happy till we find that right balance between the two sides, or the two sides of the coin. The secret, or lack therefore of it, kind of gets them. Riddler and Two-Face finds out who Batman is. They pose as trick-or-treaters, and they end up blowing up the Batcave and everything else. Our friend Alfred is back and couldn't have been better. I had great interaction between all of it. And at one point, Robin, Master Dick runs away, and he calls Bruce, and he took the car. He's like, he took the car, Master Wayne. And Bruce is like, the Jag? No, the other car. The Bentley? No, sir, the other car. And at that point, you see Robin jetting around in the Batmobile. It was great with that. They did kind of start to focus more on the backstory of Batman with the death of his parents. They were kind of planting a seed. They're going to take that seed a little bit into the next one on there. It's not a Batman movie or a movie from the late 80s, middle 90s, unless you have your classic Crazy Ninja scene. You know what I'm talking about if you've been seeing my reviews. We do get the first kind of Batman Robin classic joke, there towards the end. Robin's like, "Holy rest of metal, Batman." And Batman's like, "What?" And, it was a little sad, Robin just had to explain it. It's metal and it's rusted. And Batman's like, haha, very funny. So, it could have been better. The ending was very good. With everything, the whole fight scene, kind of with the battle, but with the Two-Face part and the Riddler part, and Batman and Robin and Dr. Chase and all that. And at one point, the Riddler has, on one tube Dr. Chase and one tube Robin. Is like, which one you're gonna survive? And he's doing it like a game show. And he goes to Robin's like, "Oh, let's meet Robin. He enjoys watching Saturday morning cartoons and hopes to one day be naked with a girl, Pat." Just really great. So, and then at the very end, we get our first real introduction of Arkham Asylum. Unfortunately, they really won't take this on until really later, but we do get that tease. And now apparently, the secret we are concerned about because they're taking more bigger precautions and stuff. So it's not let's be so loose with the secret. So for me, the coin did land on heads. And I am going to go ahead and give this a 7.6 out of 10. I thought it kept its appeal. It's a good laugh. It's a good movie to sit back and relax and just kind of pass the time. For me, I really liked it. If we had, if any different actor for Batman, probably would have been a lot better. So I do want to thank you all for watching this episode of the Water Cooler Review. Make sure to go ahead and hit that like button and then subscribe. That way you get alerts. So when the new reviews get posted, you get an alert right away. Plus, it helps me in my analytics and everything. And my therapist once said, "If you gotta go, go with a smile." Thank you.